Jake Morrison was closing up his small roadside garage just outside Phoenix when he heard the sound tires screeching, metal crunching, and then silence. He grabbed his toolbox and ran toward the highway. His heart pounding down the desert road, he found the wreckage. A luxury sedan had flipped, its windows shattered, smoke rising from the engine. And stumbling away from it, her white dress torn and stained, was a young woman with long blonde hair. She looked dazed, blood trickling from a cut on her forehead. "Are you okay?" Jake called out, running toward her. The woman spun around, her eyes wild with fear. She looked at him, then back at the smoking car, then at the empty desert highway stretching in both directions. "Please," she gasped. "Please, you have to help me hide. They'll be coming. They can't find me." Jake reached her side, gently steadying her. "You're hurt. We need to get you to a hospital." No hospitals. No police. Please." The woman grabbed his arm, her fingers digging in desperately. "I'm begging you. Just let me hide. Just for a little while." Jake looked at this woman in a wedding dress on a deserted highway, clearly running from something. Every rational part of his brain said to call 911, but the terror in her eyes was real. "Okay," he said. "Come with me." He helped her back to his garage, supporting her weight as she limped along. Once inside, he locked the door and pulled down the shutters. "Sit," he said, pointing to a chair in his small office. "Let me look at that cut." Jake cleaned her wound with supplies from his first aid kit. He studied her more closely. The dress, even torn and dirty, was clearly expensive. Her nails were professionally manicured. She wore diamond earrings that probably cost more than his truck. "I'm Jake," he said. "What's your name?" The woman hesitated. "Emma. Just Emma." "Okay, Emma. Want to tell me why you're running away from your own wedding in a wrecked car?" Emma's eyes filled with tears. "Because it wasn't my wedding." "Not really. It was an arrangement. A business deal between my father and a man I barely know. A man I don't love. A man who, ... double quotes." She trailed off, shuddering. "Who? What? Who made it clear what he expected from a wife? Who laughed when I said I wanted to work, wanted to build my own career? Who told me my opinions didn't matter, because I'd be his property soon enough?" Jake felt anger rise in his chest. "So you ran?" "I got in my car right before the ceremony and drove. I just drove. I wasn't watching the road, wasn't paying attention, and I hit something. The car flipped. When I came to, I just knew I had to keep running." "Emma, whoever you're running from, whatever this arrangement is, you have rights. You can't be forced to marry someone you don't understand. My father is." Emma stopped herself. "My father is very powerful, very connected, and he's already spent millions on this wedding, on this merger." "Merger? You mean marriage?" "Same thing to him." Jake sat back, processing. "So what's your plan?" "Hide in my garage forever. Just until I can think. Just until I can figure out how to get away from him. From all of them." Emma looked around the small garage. "I know this is a lot to ask. I'm a complete stranger. You have no reason to help me. You're right. I don't, but I'm going to anyway." Jake stood. "You can stay here tonight. I have a small apartment upstairs, nothing fancy, but it's safe and it's clean. Tomorrow, we'll figure out your next steps." "Why are you helping me?" "Because a long time ago, my sister was in a bad situation, and nobody helped her until it was too late. I'm not making that mistake again. Get night." Jake gave Emma clean clothes, an old t-shirt and sweatpants, and made her dinner from the sparse supplies in his kitchen. Emma ate ravenously, like she hadn't eaten in days. "The wedding was supposed to be at sunset," she said quietly. "I was supposed to be walking down the aisle right now. Any regrets?" "Only that I didn't run sooner." Over the next few days, Emma stayed hidden in Jake's apartment while he worked in the garage below. She helped out where she could, organizing his messy office, updating his ancient bookkeeping system, even answering the phone for customers. "You're good at this," Jake observed one afternoon, watching her efficiently schedule appointments and handle billing. "I have an MBA from Harvard," Emma admitted. "Not that my father cares. He thinks business is for men and marriage is for women." "Sounds like your father is stuck in the wrong century. He's stuck in his own world where money and power are all that matter." Jake learned more about Emma in those quiet evenings. Her real name was Emma Whitmore, daughter of billionaire real estate developer Richard Whitmore. The man she'd been arranged to marry was Marcus Sterling, the son of another real estate empire, and the wedding was meant to merge the two companies. "Your father is Richard Whitmore." Jake's eyes widened. "I've seen him on the news. He's worth billions, and he'd gladly trade all of it to get me back under his control right now." Emma looked at Jake. "Does that change things, knowing who I am?" "Should it? Most people would see dollar signs, would try to get a reward or sell me out." Jake met her eyes. "I'm not most people. You're Emma, the woman who's been reorganizing my garage and teaching me how to actually track my expenses. That's who I'm helping. Not the billionaire's daughter, just Emma." On the fifth day, Jake's TV in the garage was turned to the news when Emma's face appeared on the screen. "The search continues for Emma Whitmore, daughter of real estate mogul Richard Whitmore, who disappeared on her wedding day 5 days ago. Her vehicle was found abandoned on Highway 60 outside Phoenix. Anyone with information is asked to contact." Jake muted the TV. "They found your car." Emma's face had gone pale. "They'll expand the search. They'll check every business, every residence near where they found it, which means you can't stay here much longer." "I know." Emma looked at Jake, tears in her eyes. "I don't know what to do. If I go back, my father will just arrange another marriage, another cage. But I have no money, no ID, nowhere to go." Jake was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "What if you didn't go back? What if you started over completely?" "How?" "I have a friend in Colorado. She runs a women's shelter and helps people build new lives, new names, new starts. It's all legal. She works with lawyers and social services. She could help you. You'd help me disappear. I'd help you find freedom. There's a difference." That night, Jake drove Emma to a bus station 2 towns over. He'd given her cash, a burner phone, and his friend's contact information in Colorado. "I can't thank you enough," Emma said as they sat in his truck in the parking lot. "You saved my life, Jake. You gave me a chance when no one else would. You saved yourself. You were brave enough to run. I just gave you a place to catch your breath. If I get through this, if I build a new life, I'd like to find you again someday, to say thank you properly. You don't owe me anything, Emma. I know, but I'd like to anyway." Emma got on the bus, and Jake watched it disappear into the night. 3 years later. Jake was working under a car when a black SUV pulled up to his garage. A woman in a business suit stepped out, blonde hair pulled back professionally, confident stride, expensive briefcase. It took him a moment to recognize her. "Emma?" "Hi, Jake," she smiled. "I told you I'd find you again." I talked for hours. Emma told him about the new life she'd built, working her way up at a startup in Colorado under a different name, eventually being promoted to CFO, about standing up to her father through lawyers, establishing her independence, and finally confronting him about his control. "I went back on my own terms," Emma explained, "with lawyers, with boundaries, with my own money and my own life. My father tried to force me home, tried to control me through money, but I'd built my own success. I didn't need his fortune. I'm proud of you. I'm here to offer you something. The startup I worked for. I'm now the majority owner. We're expanding, and we need operations managers across the Southwest. I'd like you to manage our Arizona division. I'm a mechanic. You're someone who organizes chaos, solves problems, and sees potential where others don't. You did it with your garage, and you did it with me. That's exactly what we need. She handed him a folder. Salary is here. It's real work, Jake, not charity, not gratitude, real opportunity. Teague looked at the numbers and nearly choked. This is ... fair compensation for your skills. Take some time to think about it. What happened to Marcus, the man you were supposed to marry? Married someone else within 6 months. Turns out he didn't care about me, specifically just about the merger. My father found him another bride from another powerful family. Dear father, we have a relationship now. Boundaries, but a relationship. He's learning to see me as a person, not a pawn. Emma smiled. It took time, but we're getting there. 2 years later, stood in Emma's office in Phoenix. Seed moved back to be closer to her family and to the expanding business. He was now regional director, overseeing operations across 4 states. You know, Emma said, that night you found me on the highway. I was at my lowest point. I thought I had no options, no future, no way out. And now I run a company worth $50 million. I have a relationship with my father based on mutual respect. I have a friend who saw me as human when everyone else saw me as a commodity. You did all that. I just provided a garage. You provided hope. You showed me that choosing my own path was possible. That's worth more than all the money my father ever had.